Today I'm making an unusual recipe. This recipe is from a 1924 era cookbook titled Meat and How I Cook It. This book was discovered by a Reddit user who was kind enough to post the recipes for everybody to see. One of the recipes that caught attention was unusually titled Spanish Minced Beef in Meat Box. Naturally, people were curious as to what a meat box was, so I volunteered to make it. So what the heck is a 1920s era meat box, and what does it taste like? Let's find out. Okay, so the recipe says we want to make the filling first, and what we're going to do is we're going to put some butter in the top of a double boiler. If it comes off. If I understand the instructions correctly, we don't necessarily want to cook the filling at this point. We're just getting it hot. And it said to call for peppers. It didn't specify what type of peppers, so I'm just using the small sweet peppers that come in the bag. Putting butter, peppers, an onion, and then some tomatoes. Last step, we want to add some salt. And it says to just keep it hot. So we just want to keep this over hot water, and my impression is that we're just heating it up, but not necessarily cooking it. This next recipe is for the meat box itself. So the recipe called for beef from the round that was chopped fine. I just went with ground beef. And to this, I'm going to add some pepper, some salt, and I'm going to add an egg. My hands are clean. I'm just going to get in there and mix this because that's the best way to do it. This does not seem like very much seasoning, just in my opinion. Okay. Okay, I have a pan lined in tin foil, and this is what I'm going to put the meat boxes on. Now the recipe doesn't say how many boxes it should make, or it doesn't say the dimensions of the boxes. All it says is that the wall should be about 1 inch thick. So I'm going to have to just eyeball it and see how many it will make. I'm thinking anywhere between 4 and 6 boxes, maybe. We'll see. Okay, so I've got one meat box here, and as you can see, forming it like a box and keeping the walls about 1 inch thick. I think this will make like maybe about 5. I'm taking just a handful of meat, and mine are more round. Let's get them into a box. I have my meat boxes. I made about 6. They're not quite even, but they'll do. The recipe says to cook these in a quick oven which is about 400 to 425 degrees Fahrenheit, according to the research I did. And you cook them for about 20 minutes. So just make sure they're done. The filling goes in after these are cooked, but I tasted the filling and it's not quite cooked through itself. The onions are still pretty raw, which I'm not a big fan of. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave one of these empty and cook it according to the recipe. The filling will go in afterwards. The rest of these, I'm putting the filling in prior because I want that cooked a little bit more. So we're gonna try it 2 different ways, and we're gonna see which one is better. All right, I have Dan with me.
Hey everybody.
And we're going to try out the meat boxes. So I have one with the filling cooked with the meat box right here, and then we have the empty meat box and filling that was set aside over here. So which one do you want to try first?
Which try?
By all means. Thank you.
Pretty good.
Mm-hmm. It's a nice combination of textures. You have the chewy beef. Well, it's not really chewy, but you have the beef, which is more flavorful than I thought it would be. And then you have the topping, which has just really been heated through, not really cooked. So it still has some crunch, but then the tomatoes are soft. So there's a lot of different textures going on, which I find pleasing. And the flavor is really good. It's you have the vibrant onions and peppers and the acidic tomatoes. Blends nicely with the beef that's been well seasoned. So I think it's a very simple dish, very customizable, and was quick, pretty quick to make.
That is really good. It's a touch on the dry side.
I feel like the beef could be a little bit more tender.
Yeah.
Let's try this one.
And what was the difference in the two?
So this one, the filling hasn't really been cooked. It's just been heated through. This one, I put the filling on the meat box and then put it in the oven.
So this one is original.
Original recipe, modified.
It's a lot more tender than the original. And you get all the flavors in the ground beef a lot more than the original as well.
All the juices from the peppers and onions and tomatoes and the butter that they were heated up in soaked into the beef and made it a lot more tender. I'm not sure if tender is the right word. I think you could put a little Worcestershire in with the beef. That'd be really good. I mean, you could put anything in here. I kind of like it. It's a little bit different, a little medium. It's a weird name. I mean, Spanish minced beef in meat box. So I didn't really know what to expect, but
it's delicious.
Dan really likes it. I like it too. I think we'll be making this again, but I think I'll be doing the modified version. You can put anything you want in your meat box. You can customize your meat box to whatever you want. It is a very simple dish. It's very good. A little more seasoning perhaps. Maybe some mashed potatoes on the side.
Yeah.
Oh, mashed potatoes go with everything. Meat box turned out to be a really good thing. If you like this content, please hit the like button and subscribe. It really helps me out. And let me know in the comments below if you would make this dish. See you next time.
Bye, everybody.